The International Space Station is nearing the end of its life. NASA has announced that in 2030, they're going to deorbit this incredible space home that we have built over the years. But we still don't quite know yet what is going to be replacing it. This is not only the end of the ISS, it's actually the end of government-controlled access to space, because the four main contenders running against each other in order to create a new space station are all private companies. Each one has taken a completely different approach to design, capabilities, amount of people that they can carry, and funding rounds. In this episode, I want to dive into all the fun details and show you this incredible new era in the space race. Because it's not just astronauts and scientists that are going to be visiting these space structures, people like you and me might be visiting in the near future too. Let's get into it. You might be thinking, okay, wait a moment. Isn't there another space station that's operated by China orbiting our Earth right now? And it has been since 2021. The answer to that is you are correct. But for this video, I want to focus specifically on what is going to replace the ISS. It is important to understand that it's not going to be the only space station up in space, as China already has Tiangong, or the Heavenly Palace, that has been crewed and operational since 2021. But other countries like Russia and India also have plans for space stations specifically suited to them and their needs. If I had to do a super quick roundup of all the contenders, this is what I would tell you about each one of them. Let's go. First up, we have Axiom Space. They're probably viewed as the favorite child from a media perspective because they have already transported things back and from to the ISS. And their plan involves building their space station off the ISS right now and then detaching or cutting the cord, so to speak, when the ISS is ready to deorbit. Next up, we have the partnership between Sierra Space and Blue Origin. They are building something known as the Orbital Reef. This space station is described as a business park in space and follows an inflatable design that might just be one of its greatest strengths. In third place, we have Starlab, which is probably considered the baby of the four, as they have designed a space station that, although tiny, will be flying up in one go. This can be its greatest strength or its greatest weakness, depends on which way you look at it. Last but definitely not least, we have Vast Space. What makes Vast unique is that it's 100% privately funded, and in my opinion have some of the most beautiful indoors design for their space station. You see, the one common thread that I want you to keep in the back of your head throughout this entire piece is that we don't know who's gonna be first. All these companies advertise and want us to believe that they're going to be the first commercial space station, but nobody quite knows how this will turn out, as roadmaps are currently constantly shifting. I don't want to get into the politics and business side of things for space station for this piece. I want to show you more of the technology, and I want to show you why certain design choices have been made a different way. I am so guilty of just comparing anything I hear in the news with some hypothetical ideal case scenario that I've made up in my head. After all, we all wish that space stations were cheap and easy to make, and we just get a choice of which vendor or type of company we like, and then we go build it. So let's look into the history of the ISS for a moment. That way, we're comparing apples to apples. It took over 30 rocket launches to send every single module that the ISS has at the moment up to space. And that is not the end of it. You don't just click things together. 270 spacewalks were also required in order to assemble everything together. But this wasn't just man and woman power alone. It was also thanks to this massive robotic arm known as the Canadarm that helps astronauts with docking and spacewalks. Altogether, it took over $150 billion for the ISS to be built, and it's still costing us anywhere from $3 to $4 billion a year in terms of operational costs. One of the things you probably have noticed in this video is how messy and radically chaotic things seem to be in the International Space Station, and how tidy and neat everything looks in those new designs. This is partly because the ISS was put together literally bit by bit. And this could be one of the biggest strengths to having private companies operate space stations. More choices will naturally breed a little bit of competition, which naturally drives prices down, but also private companies in the space realm, just like SpaceX, have shown that they can be more capital efficient. And this is actually one of the most fascinating things, because although these are private companies, 3 out of the 4 we're looking into today had received a significant amount of funding from NASA, which is a government agency. In 2020, Axiom received $140 million in regards to their Space Habitat module, but has other ongoing partnerships with NASA in regards to the spacesuit program. Starlab has received $217 million through the Space Act agreement, initially $160 million in 2021 and $57.5 million in 2024. And the Orbital Reef program, through the partnership between Blue Origin and Sierra Space, have received $172 million to date. I'm saying this in order to remind everyone that the line between private and government in space is increasingly becoming more and more gray. The only company in this video that hasn't received government funding for a space station is VAST. But they are actively collaborating in other areas of science and research for the ISS and NASA as a whole. And this is one of the most exciting and I think relatable things about space and this new era of the space race. I don't think we should be looking at it as something that just belongs to astronauts and very highly skilled researchers out there, but something that could perhaps be possible for the average person like me. All in all, nobody can say for sure which of these space station concepts is going to win. The roadmaps are still very uncertain, politics and business realities come in the way, and all sorts of other things. After all, we're talking about an extremely technically difficult problem in an extremely difficult era in human history that is involved in both private and government business. But next time you see news about the space station race, I want you to have a better idea of what the contenders are. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, because I always learn something new and come up with better ideas for future videos from there. Thank you so much for watching.